Ni hao, how's Welcome to Taiwan Live TV and Late Night with MJ. How's it going? We're in the famous, discombobulated, and all messed up, goofed up, famous Phoenix Media Fort studio, the only studio that keeps a package of tissues on a 32-channel analog console, vintage console. How you guys doing? All right, I'm MJ Klein. I'm in Taiwan here, and we're under no lockdown. Oh, my voice is shot. I've been so busy. The reason the studio is such a mess, and I'm not showing you anything. I mean, I'll show you like a little bit. Just cables and stuff. Yeah, and that's a Brian May VBM1. They're pretty rare. I got it from a collector in Japan, and that's the famous Queen guitar up there on the wall. Yeah, and there's some overhanging stuff from the studio for baffling and so forth. So anyway, I just want to say hi, and yeah, I'm got a couple of things I want to talk to you about here. I don't want this too low. Yeah, okay. How's everybody doing? Gosh, it's been like since Thursday, right? So we always have a good audience on Periscope. We're also broadcasting on Facebook. We're broadcasting on Periscope, of course, and YouTube and Twitch simultaneously. And if you look down here, you're going to see all the comments here from all four of the platforms. So it doesn't matter if you're on Twitch. You know, you can chat with somebody on YouTube or on Periscope. On Facebook, doesn't matter. So if you can, join on the respective platforms. Well, I love all you guys, and so I'm just trying to make it easy. So, everybody knows I've been on a fast. Well, I think they know. See, I have a line group, late night line group. I can't believe people actually follow me. And I don't have like a bazillion followers. I got just like a really narrow group, but fantastic people. And in this line group, I was telling everybody about, the fast. I've been, me, I've been fasting on and off for the last 3 years. I lost 10 kilograms, which for those of you who are metrically challenged is 22 pounds, simply by fasting over a period of just, a couple of months. I did it kind of slow. And I go on fasts occasionally. For a long time, it was my habit to fast for the first 3 days of the week and only take meals on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There was a point in time where I was only eating one meal a day, so that's 4 meals for a week. You don't really need all that food, apparently. And yeah, so last Sunday, well, let me show you, because we got Prism Live Studio. Last Sunday, I went to Gordon Biersch. I got a Gordon Biersch down the street here. And they have hey, how you doing there? That is Jan. Nice to have you with us, Jan. On Periscope, no doubt. Yeah, that's funny, yeah. Because I see a lot on YouTube. That's cool. Now, this is the Gordon Biersch, what do they call that? It's like a beer batter garlic chicken or something. And it says mashed potatoes on the bottom, which are highly glycemic, and I don't recommend eating. But, if you're going to fast afterwards, I guess it's okay. And above that is some, asparagus spears, and then there's the chicken. There's some kind of beer battered chicken. It was really good. But the sauce was nice. You see, there's black pepper on it, and on the top was some deep fried onions. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the last meal I had until tonight. That was last Sunday. Now, I don't know why. I was seriously depressed today. Now, you know me. I'm the guy that you go to when you need encouragement, right? So, yeah, there you go. Thanks. Now, you see, I told you guys, you can talk to each other on all the platforms, right? It doesn't matter. So, there it is. I was seriously depressed, and I'm usually the one that, likes to encourage people, but I was in a bad mood, and I was talking to some of my friends and stuff, and I just said, you know what? Gosh, I am fortunate enough to live in Taiwan, where not only do we have some of the most fantastic cuisine in the world, let alone just Asia, but there's no lockdown here, And so my wife and I in Phoenix, we went out to a restaurant, and Papa, that's me, yeah, I ate. And I had some goitie, which I guess the Japanese would be gyozo. But it's in the United States they used to call it Peking ravioli, but the shape's different. In Taiwan they're long, they're long and thin. But it's a type of dumpling that's fried on the bottom. They're just unbelievable. And in Taiwan they have this hot sauce that I could live on that alone. I mean, I could eat like stones or something, or rocks, or whatever, and just dip them in this hot sauce. It would be okay. So this hot sauce is amazing. So I was eating them with a hot sauce, and then had some of their hot and sour soup, and it was my favorite kind, without the pig blood in it. Yuck! Oh, it was fantastic. And then, just because I'm in Taiwan and it's down the street, I went and got some of this. Yeah. On the left of your screen are succulent slices of Costco Bavarian sausage that's produced by a local vendor named Futon. And on the right are immaculately crafted pieces of beef with just the perfect amount of marble and fat on them. And they're all cooked the way that God meant food to be cooked. And that's deep fried. And not like this, sorry. That was a wrong picture, sorry. Okay, yeah, I'm getting anxious here. Let me take this off. Okay, there you go. Now, so this week, how much weight did I lose? I ate something last week, Gordon Biersch, and then I ate something tonight. I lost 7 kilograms, 7 point something. And so to get pounds, you multiply it by 2.2. So when you add the little fraction in, I lost 15 pounds in 1 week, just fasting. And when I went to the restaurant where that guy has those deep fried stuff, he said in Chinese, he says, "Wow, I can see, your stomach's going down. Don't you just love it?" Ah, yeah. The older you get, the more important that is. Now, before I go any further, I want to thank my sponsor, ivideo.com.tw. In the description or in the profile, depending on what platform you're watching, there is a 10% discount code. You can use it every time, not just the first time, every time you use ivideo.com. And like right now is the perfect time to supplement your overloaded internet service. Whew, I gotta tell you, friends of mine, like I'm meeting with them online and they're talking and you hear and they're frozen, and it's the deadly internet connection. So, and of course our companion site, TaiwanLive.tv, there's no SSL certificate. Your browser will tell you it's not safe. Don't believe it, because there isn't even a contact form. There's nothing you can do. It's not gonna, you can't enter anything in it, so why would you be unsafe? I just, why would I? Anyway. But there is a website for the studio, and it does have an SSL certificate. It's Phoenix Media Forge, just like in the title, but just take out the spaces. PhoenixMediaForge.com. Now, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Remember how I had my security camera outside where my car park was? I was in Kaohsiung, and I just happened to notice a guy walking his dog, and he let his dog walk into my carport and take a crap. Ugh. I'm going to do an episode called 我的家不是你的垃圾桶, which means my home is not your trash can. Because I'm going to tell you, people dump stuff off here all the time. Now, during the Dragon Festival, now everybody knows what that is, because, Periscope's been around for a number of years, and you've seen scopers from Hong Kong and various places that have Chinese language-based societies like Taiwan do these scopes on the Dragon Festival, the Dragon Boat Festival, and they have it here in Taiwan too. And if you look like at Wikipedia in English and you try to understand what it is, there's a lot of different views on what the actual meaning is. But anyway, the long and short of it is that some famous literary author was, and I'm just going to condense it down and basically give you the central thing, the central view, that they all agree that he drowned in the river. And the people put their boats in the water and they raced to try to save him, but it was too late. So that's where the dragon boat races came from. They had a multi-person boat, and they would get there and they would just paddle like crazy and, try to get to him before he drowned, but it's too late. And so what they did was his body was lost. They couldn't recover it. So they knew it was somewhere in the river on the bottom, and they knew that, as grisly as it sounds, the fish would eat it. They would eat his dead body. And, the local people, they weren't having that. So they cooked a special kind of rice and with spices, and they wrapped them in like a bamboo leaf, or I guess it could be a banana leaf, depending on where you live. But it's a big leaf. And I think in Taiwan, the ones I've seen, most of them use, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to say they look like bamboo leaves, but they're probably not. But anyway, and they wrap them up, and they look triangular, when they're done, a three-dimensional triangle. And they tie them up, okay? And that's called zongzi. And you get, it's common to get zongzi like every, Dragon Boat Festival. My wife's mother will make a bunch of them for the family, and she freezes them and sends them, on like a Uber Eats, for something like that, express delivery place, that sends them to our house. So the other day, it's nowhere near. Hey, how you doing, life? How you doing? Let me stop here. You see this username down here? Life, or is it? I think everybody should follow Life, or is it? I'm going to tell you why. Anybody that can come on and do a stream that goes like this, you see, press the button right, up close to the camera, and back like this, and go, I'm only going to be on for a minute. I just want to say hi, and then I'm out of here. So right away, right? Okay. And you're going like, okay, I don't want to miss this because you're only going to be here for a minute. So anyway, I just want to tell you, man, I think you're hilarious. And I don't care what you do. I'm watching it. Okay, so you guys, just okay, because seriously, I mean, if I did that right, I'd have no views. I don't know. You got whatever it is, you got it. I don't know. And there are people like that I know, like I think, like my friend Coco, I think she has it. Whatever it is, there's just something about, your presentation. And so you can get on and say, but here's the thing. Now here's the thing. You don't come off like a snob. See, if you're like, I'm only going to come on for a minute because I'm too good to talk to you, And you've seen people like that, right? I'm just too busy. And you say, but you say it's because, I'm busy with work. I got lots of work, and so it's good stuff. It's cool. So welcome to Taiwan. I appreciate you joining. So everybody, yeah, follow. So actually, I saw you. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you're not like throwing stuff at the phone, I know you from, excuse me, from Casper's streams, so. And Casper's going to be here. He's going to be here in this very room in a couple of weeks. He's like, he comes to Taiwan and he doesn't tell me because he knows I'm going to be, Casper, yeah, got some time this week, yeah. And it's like, I'm asking him, like, what's your schedule like and stuff, so. Well, that's good. Well, I kind of figured that. even like with the 1 minute and 2 minutes, is why people like to watch you going. You just seem like a nice person, regular person. So it's not like you don't come out, like I said, because you're unworthy of a second minute. So it's a completely different thing. So, but anyway, Casper has, Casper and I hung out a lot. So, yeah. And I met Casper the first time, I'm trying to think, it was 3 or 4 years ago, but he organized a trip to Taiwan in 2018, and I'm glad he did because he brought JL. I never met JL, so thanks to Casper, I met a couple of the scopers that I never had met before. And so, hey, Matthew, how's it going? All right, nice to have you with us. All right, so, we got some malfunctions here, that's okay. And anyway, so you heard Casper tonight. He's gonna come. He's gonna come by. What I want to do. Excuse me. Let me see. I probably got like over 1,000 something probably already, or 2,000 views on Periscope. So I probably shouldn't say this, but I have some backing tracks. Actually, I have the actual 24-track masters of several Queen songs, and I want to get Casper to sing something like Bohemian Rhapsody or something like that, some big Queen song. That's what I want to do. But I can't put it out there, Shh, don't tell anybody. So Matthew, how you doing? What's up with you? But this is how it is. I don't have a lot of comment traffic, which is interesting, but it's okay. So anyway, getting back to the Zhongzi, because I want to tell you what happened, because I said, I wanted to do this TV show called, what a job, which means my home is not, sorry to my Chinese viewers, sorry, my home is not your trash can. Because what happened was I came home the other day, and there's a wall outside my house. See, and all the houses in Taiwan have bars on it, even though we have low crime. This is from this is a thing from 30 years ago. So there's some zongzi right there. So yeah. I hear what you're saying, Matthews. I know you're on call. That's cool, man. I got a chance to relax. Well, I told you what to do about that. But now this is the zongzi, okay? And you see how, I took a close-up. I took a close-up exclusively for you guys because I want to show you. You see what I was saying? These are wrapped up in some kind of leaf with a string on it, okay? And there's a really sticky, it's not sticky rice, but it happens to be very sticky because it's cooked down with spices and things. And so you can just look this up like on Wikipedia. But look, it's just like, what is this doing on my wall? So what I did was I left it there to just see, and it's like still there. But then, like, somebody asked me one day, they said, well, how safe is Taiwan? Because I found a set of keys in front of that wall. And I took the keys and I put them on the wall. And nobody touched them for a month. And then somebody took them. So I think probably the owner got them. So, but Taiwan's really, really safe, and nobody's trying to break in and so forth. Even though there's bars on the windows, it's not that big of a deal. It's really not. So, all right. So, anyway, Matthew, I told you when you're on, call, right? And because this is my brother-in-law does. He's from the. Okay, take care. Thank you. I'll give you a fist pump. Thank you. Yes. Gal, how are you? Actually, the funny thing is, right? Take care, and we'll see you live. Thank you so much, okay? It's a pleasure to finally interact with you. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Take care. I have been doing other stuff. I've been working on, thank you. I've had a couple of mastering jobs, and also, yeah, I know it's been a long time. Thank you for joining. There's an author that I'm working with named Robert Monahan, who's also a recording artist. He's an author from like 40 years ago, you know, and he did a lot of stuff. Actually, the funny thing is he was in the military. He was in Taiwan. And he found me and asked me if I could restore some of the old stuff that he had done on analog tape from like, 35 years ago. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the analog guy. Yeah, that's a green screen. That is a 32 channel analog console. Yeah, I'm the analog guy. And over here on this side, that's the digital console. So I've been working really hard on doing restorative operations, spectral editing, and some really interesting. I don't know if you would find it interesting, but detailed, Yeah. And I was able to restore a couple of his tunes and actually master them. And see, some of the problems were, for example, not only was the spectrum bad, the high end is gone. The lead vocal was too out front and it was panned too far to the right. So what I had to do was I had to surgically remove the vocals from the mix, just leaving the guitars and the bass. Then I had to rebalance the guitars and then restore the spectrum. Now the bad part about the vocals is that mix had been, this is terrible. The mix is, on analog tape 35 years ago, they had a bunch of reverb on it. So not only was it like muffled like this, it was all to the side and it was full of reverb. So I had to de-reverb that vocal track and put it back in. So, oh yeah, well, we're all around. So, oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, PBS. A lot of that stuff comes out from Boston, and I knew a friend of mine, Randy Ruse. He wrote the theme song for Scientific American Frontiers. If you remember that was a show that Alan Alda did. And it's funny because my friend John Garrett did a lot of audio for them too. But yeah, small world. But anyway, so I, just through these processes, I was able to to restore some of this stuff, and I played it a couple of weeks ago on Prism Live. If you go back to when I was in Kaohsiung, I played one of his tunes on there. So, yeah, a lot of stuff going on in New York. I didn't actually do much in New York. I mean, I was known by the right people that I had association with, but I was based out of Boston, and so that's where I did. Most of the records that I recorded were in Boston. So, yeah, oh yeah. I found out about Prism from Nick Nimmin, famous YouTuber, and I caught a stream, or not a stream. I caught a YouTube video of his. He's talking about some other alternatives, and he mentioned Prism, right? So. Yeah, well, I'm using it now. It's the great part about it is right this second I am simultaneously broadcasting to Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch, and all the comments are captured and everybody can see it because it's all here. And I can scroll it too, so I can go back and say, okay, what did so and so say, right? And it's not like but it's burned to the stream. See? Well, yeah, because I'm here, with the Wi-Fi. So these comments are burned, which means that one of the annoying things about simulcasting is somebody on Facebook will say a comment. And the live streamer will answer it, and everybody in Periscope's going, what's he talking about? So, yeah. That should be the comment of the night. But let me show you something, Gal. Let me show you this. Because if I want, I can go like this, and I can say pick comment, and I I could put that comment right here and just like that. See, so that's one of the things that Prism can do, as well as the multimedia stuff, showing the other stuff. So, but getting back to answering your question, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't set a pick to my guitar on one of my tunes in over 2 months. I've been too busy doing the other stuff. And Robert gave me another tune that requires a great deal of editing, so yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. But, here's the thing. The scoper doesn't always know. I know what you mean. And, the live streamer doesn't always know. And I'm going to be honest with you, not everybody's like you. A lot of people don't know that the problem is them. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it depends. Like, if a person says, bad signal, I tend, unless it's somebody that I know knows what they're talking about, I continue on because somebody says, oh, you got a bad signal. Oh, okay, good night. I mean, what are you going to do, right? So, yeah. But that's cool. But I mean, if you've got a good signal and you know what you're talking about, and we appreciate it too. But sometimes you don't have much of a choice if you're out in the field. You kind of got to work with what you got. So, yes. But sometimes it changes. Like in this neighborhood, even though I have the iVideo Wi-Fi box, from one end of the block, if I walk like 6 blocks down, it's so variable. But like now, right out here, this is a major road in this area, and I know for a fact that there's one cell site right over here. But still, sometimes on the Wi-Fi, it's just, cause I am connected Wi-Fi to the box, which is a modem, on 4G, right? But if I go to Jubei, and that's where, all the upwardly mobile people are. I mean, right now, Jubei, real estate in Jubei is more expensive than it is in Taipei, and even in Kaohsiung. And so, let me put it to you this way. I'm in the industrial park. I'm surrounded by factories. And the fastest I have ever, I'm supposed to have a 100 Mbps signal, and the fastest I ever got was 98. Now, we have a chain of coffee shops in Taiwan called Louisa. And I went over to Louisa in Jubei. And there's like 30 people in the shop. And some of them have mobile phone and laptop. Everybody's connected. Let's just say there's, between the staff and everything, let's just say there's 50 people connected. Well, I used Open Signal, and I measured their download speed at 198, and I almost dropped my phone, so. So you see what I'm saying? I mean, 198 Mbps download in a coffee shop. I know. Has anybody, can I see a show of hands? Anybody ever seen 198 Mbps download in a coffee shop? I haven't. I'm used to 22. Okay, that's fine. I can watch a YouTube video. I'm thinking, crap, I can download some DVD ISO files that I've been putting off because I don't want to sit here for an hour, There you go. So you know what I'm saying? It was really amazing because it showed the diversity between. So that's what I'm saying. Conservatively, I'm figuring that I was going to say probably 50 different devices were connected. If you look at the number of people, the number of customers, and the staff altogether, I would say 50 connections or so. And that's why I said I almost dropped my phone. I couldn't believe it, and I didn't believe it. So I did it again, And then my wife came back from the bank. I said, honey, look at this. And she's like, what's that? I said, you know what this is? Yeah, this is incredibly fast. That's what it is. So I'm thinking, wow, what is that 5 gigabyte file that I was going to download the other day, but I decided, or that 10 gigabytes of zip files or some kind of something that that I put off because I didn't want to wait for 3 hours on my machine here. So I'll just do it to my phone and shoot it over to Google Drive on this Wi-Fi. So I was like, at the coffee shop, it is funny. So I brought my Surface Pro, and it was saying, thank you. I've never been connected to such a fast network in my entire life. So I loved it. Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm kind of limited to what I have here. I'll show you what I have. I mean, I've got, like everybody else, I have like, I've got a Shure mic that I use like for live shows, because it doesn't matter if you drop it, because a Shure mic is that's another name for a hammer. They're indestructible. But I picked up. I'm going to stand up for a second. I picked up over here. I have my cabinet. This I picked up this little condenser mic by Tascam, and it's a TM80. And I was going to laugh at it. Because the funny thing is, it looks like a mini Neumann, but it's got a 1-inch capsule, and it's you just phantom power. It's a cardioid pattern. And so I tried it on some vocals. It comes with a spider, and it comes with a windscreen. I was like, you got to be kidding! It was like $35. I said, you got to be kidding me! And it's Tascam, right? Tascam TM80. And so I tried this thing, and it was pretty good, but it was a little too bright. For me, for my vocal sound, yeah, it is. And everybody should know what they need, right, in the studio. And quite honestly, I mean, when I worked in Boston, I had access to an incredible array of. Oh, Matthew, take care. Sorry, I didn't see that. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye. Fist bump to you, bro. I used to use the M49, and we had like 6 U67s, and the M49 has a switchable pattern on it. And so I ended up using the U48, which is the exact same mic capsule as the famous U47, like what Frank Sinatra used. The difference with the U48 is the patterns. It has a cardioid and a figure 8, rather than a cardioid and an omnidirectional like the 47. It's the same mic, just different pattern. And I ended up using that. But then later on, I was doing some work in other studios, and like when I did most of my records, I did on the 48. If you go to mjk.asia, some of the session work I did at Longview with Jesse Henderson. He's the guy that did all those Jay Giles records. I forgot what mic he used. It was 1981. I forget, or 91. But when I did this stuff later on at Fleetwood at mjk.asia, it's various songs. Almost all of that is either an FET U87 or it's the tube. Yeah, it's the tube U48. Now this mic here, let me see if I can turn this around without this falling off. This is a really interesting mic. I'm going to take this off and set it down later. This is on the stand here. This is a tube preamp mic, and the cable is yeah. Okay. This is a tube preamp mic. This is called the JS1-2. Now, when it's on, this glows because there's a 12AX7 in here, and it's a large diaphragm condenser mic, and it's very, very much to me like one of the old Neumanns. Now, you buy the mic, and it comes with the spider, and it comes with a, you know, a clown nose and stuff. And if you notice the bottom, this is a 7-pin DIN connector, because this is not the audio cable. The audio cable comes out of the power supply, which is over there, because this is a 9-pattern microphone, much like the M49. And the interesting thing about the patterns is they're clickable. They're not, like the M49 is continuously variable, but these guys go click, 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 click. And so it goes from omni through cardioid all the way, you know, to figure 8. And so this is the mic that I've been using on my vocals. You can kind of see, there you go. There's the gold capsule right there. So this is a large capsule condenser 2 preamp mic, and oh, my thing came unclipped. I don't think I can put it back on here. I can't do this right now. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to set this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to set this on the floor so it can't fall. There you go. So, really? Well, I didn't really think it would be so much, you know, about mics. There are some other things that I would, well, yeah, that's true. Although the problem though is that I don't have, personally here, although I have the experience, I don't have like a bunch of mics that I can say, well, this is a, you know, this is a $4,500, you know, U47, and you know, I don't have those. I have a couple that I use for myself. 90% of what I do, like even if you look on under here, right? This is a keyboard. I mean, most of the stuff that I do is direct. Even with the amps, it's direct. I don't use mics that often. So, getting thirsty. But what I do want to talk about is this. I mean, what I would like to. This is Reaper. And this is an X32. And that's a Soundcraft Ghost. The Soundcraft Ghost is connected to the auxiliary ins and outs of this console. So every analog signal that I put into Reaper goes through the Ghost. So I can jack the gain on the inputs, but I can burn the gain off, you know, on the buses, so it doesn't hit that console so hard when it goes into Reaper. So yeah, no, oh, I see. You're affiliated with a foundation. So tell me about tell me about the foundation. But you're right. I mean, well, you know, I was a young recording engineer, and I worked. I mean, coming up as an artist, you know, I was like 22 when I got my first contract with a studio as an artist, and right away I found I kind of had a knack for figuring out how to get sounds. I mean, that's what a producer's for, is to hold the session together and, you know, design the sound. And so, well, thanks. I'm gonna be honest with you. It takes a heck of a lot of effort to do these videos. I'm not really good at doing videos. I think what Casper should do is, I think Casper should come over here, and what we can do is, and this is what's widely done in interviews. People don't really realize this, because I used to be in the Boston media too, but when you're doing an interview, often the person being interviewed gives the interviewer questions that they want the interviewer to ask them so they can answer it. So Casper is great. He's fantastic. He's helped me out a lot in acquiring equipment and things behind the scenes. You have no idea. So, no, he's absolutely, and he's super handsome too. But you know, the thing of it is too, is he has a high moral standard, which is more important than anything else. But I should just have Casper come over here and just ask me questions and let me just talk about it. But okay, so let me just tell you this. With Reaper, okay, it's a DAW. It's probably the best one. I'm not using the master track. I'm not using any plugins. I'm not using envelopes of any kind, like automation envelopes or anything. I asked a software engineer, a computer scientist in France, Dr. Patrick Giamayu, and I hope I said his name right. He wrote an automation program for the M32 and X32 as a result of our conversations. And we call it X32 Reaper Automate because it's an automation system. So if you go to x32ram.com, it's all about that. And the introduction, I wrote it and everything. So we have a fully functional moving fader automation system for the X32, so I don't need to sit there and mix with the mouse. Do you know how difficult it is to mix with a mouse and you're using automation envelopes and stuff? See, when I came into the business, this is what we had. We had consoles like this, no automation. You want to reset it? Guess what? Come here. I'm talking to the intern. The intern comes over and does what we call zeroing the console. That means they turn everything to zero. It takes an hour. There's 620 knobs on this console. See what you're looking at here? This is half of it. There's 16 channels over on the other side. Okay? This thing is digital. It's all encoders. The faders are motorized. Whatever's on it right now, I can save it. If I want to change to a different layer, the faders move. I don't know if you can see this. The faders move, see? Right. So, over 10,000 different parameters are savable and instantly recallable. So here's what's happening with my studio workflow. I look at my watch and I go, yeah, I got an hour before I have to leave and take my wife somewhere. I can come upstairs, load Reaper, load the file I'm working on, and the console is back where I was last time, instantly. If I've only got 10 minutes, I can make progress on a mix and save it and go back later. It's amazing. You can't do that on that. Because if you're set up to do song A and you want to do song B, come here, reset this console. It takes an hour to go on over 600 knobs. So this is a game changer. But the thing is I have been unable to find anybody on YouTube or anywhere else that's using the X32 like I am, with Reaper not as a control surface. I'm using the audio engines. Reaper is nothing more than a multi-track playback machine. It records and you can edit on it. But this to me is very close to what I was using in 24 tracks back in the old days. And that's why I love it. So, I don't know how useful that is to the dog kitties, because most people, I mean, this is really funny, okay? You see what my studio looks like. If you do a Google search on a modern recording studio, nobody has a console. They got a screen, and the thing you see in front of it is a keyboard and a mouse, because that's what they're doing. I did a session with a Thai band. I actually played some guitar for them. That was a session because my Thai is not very good. But the guy at the studio, the engineer, the owner of the studio, didn't have a console. I walked in, he had an actual MIDI keyboard controller and a mouse. And that's how we did the session. I'm like, wow. No console. I'm not used to that. I like faders. I love me some faders. And I'm going to tell you something funny. And those of you who work with analog equipment and engineers and technicians, you know, this stuff smells cool. It has the smell of vintage electronics. And there's something, and it's powered off right now, but you power it on, and 5 minutes later you get this beautiful, vintage console aroma, this bouquet, you know. It's like a whiskey, you know. You want to put it in your glass. Go, oh, this is a Soundcraft, or this might be a yeah, this is a yeah. It's kind of funny. So anyway, I think I've rambled on for long enough about this stuff. But I will seriously think about that. I have some other videos that I want to do in conjunction with Reaper Automate X32. X32 Reaper Automate. It's x32ram.com. I know, it's really funny. So what do you have? Do you what kind of console do you have? I have a Soundcraft, or I've got a Sound Design, or some of these older desk SSL or whatnot. But my whole thing is, and I'm going to tell you, it's because I'm old, right? My whole thing is hand ear. I hear something, I want a knob. It's not, I'm going to dig through a menu, use a pull down, put a plug in and stuff. So yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I was on a couple of his live streams. The live stream he did tonight, he's out now, by the way. He's out because it's like 10 minutes until 1. It's after midnight. But he's out. I knew he was going to be busy, so hey, Rob, how you doing? Fist bump. I knew he was going to be busy, or I would have offered him, offered to pick him up and stuff and take him tomorrow just to take a burden off. But he's just sounds, you're not getting. Hey, what's wrong, Jan? Sound is off. Well, I think I'm okay. Because if I'm not, there's somebody right there that would tell me. So, yeah. I think, do I follow him on Instagram? I got a bunch of Instagrams, so I kind of forget. So, Jevons, yeah. Jevons is awesome. And the thing is, right, is he almost never scopes. Thank you. He almost never scopes, but he does a lot of Instagram stuff and a lot of Instagram stories, And so this is Indonesian batik from Bali. I love this. I told you guys I was depressed today. I don't know why. I was depressed, and so I had to go eat, And yeah, I did all of them. And I just, I had to wear my batik because my batik makes me so happy. So, well, yeah, but here's the thing, right? And I've been talking to these guys because, David Osaka and John Sabot, and I know all these guys personally, and mobile phones record in 4K, and everybody has a gimbal. That makes you a filmmaker. I mean, I used to rack my brains out. Like, I mean, I'd be like, I've got my, I have 2 Nikon cameras that, and I bought another one and it does video, but it's 1080p and it's shaky as, it looks like it's terrible. And I put my mobile phone. I mean, I had like the first mobile phone that recorded in 4K. I got in 2016, and I put it in my gimbal. And I was running around after my daughter at the big city mall, and I looked at the videos later, and I said, this is astonishing. I said to my wife, I said, honey, I think I can do a feature film on my Galaxy S7 Edge. And seriously, you can. If you look at YouTube, there are YouTube channels that are devoted to things like mobile phone camera feature films. I remember 4 years ago, I saw a feature film that people had shot on, at that time, the latest iPhone. Because, yeah, you really should. iPhones pre-process video in a way that Androids do not and cannot do. So, well, listen to this. You can get an anamorphic lens for an iPhone, and you can record video on it that on the fly will, what's the word? It's not decode, but okay, it converts the anamorphic lens into proper video the way it should be. I'm not a video guy, but you know what I'm saying, because the anamorphic lens would be a weird ratio. But it does it on the fly because of the architecture of the iPhone. So there are lots of people. So here's the thing. You're a filmmaker, right? And you got a budget. So what are you going to do? You can hire a bunch of people from Panavision, or you can invest in, like, you know, a Red 4K or something. Or you can get 4 or 5 people and give them a gimbal and an iPhone and say, go shoot some footage, you know. And it's amazing. So what you can do. And so, but the thing is, it's always in the editing. And I have, you know, I've got DaVinci Resolve and like everybody else, and I got a Stream Deck and all these things. I'm an audio guy. I can do video editing, but there's only so many hours in a day, and I ain't getting any younger. And so, really, I mean, I would love to do some of these videos, and I have spent a considerable amount of time thinking about them and what I would do and planning them, and it turns out it's just, okay, am I going to finish my record? I'm going to do some tutorial videos. I'm going to finish the record. Because I don't monetize on YouTube. And I refuse to monetize on YouTube. I'm not going to. Like I didn't, you know, I don't try to go for anything like, you know, Periscope VIP or any of that stuff, because it's not important to me. What's important to me is doing the music thing. You know, if I got something that I can help somebody with, that's fine. Let's give it to them, you know. So I'm not worried about that, but I want to get the record done. And what I've done is I have 5 tunes that I have been growing up together. Like I'll work on one and get it, you know, work on the other, you know. And so I've got 5 tunes that are probably within, I'm going to say, 2 weeks, which seems like a lot. And in the old days it would be a lot, but I'm working by myself here. In the old days I had other musicians playing things, and, you know, of being complete. So if I pick one of those tunes and I lock the door and I come up here several times, several, you know, days out of the week, within like 2 weeks, I can finish it. I can master it. So I'm getting ready to do that. I have decided that I'm not going to allow the next year to come before I've finished at least one tune. I've got to have one tune in the can. Okay? And then that'll motivate me to do the rest. But in the meantime, I'm on SoundCloud, and I'm on all kinds of other stuff. Whoa! 我很好，谢谢，你好，你好不好? Captain Deltron, Captain, it's been so long. Good to see you. Man, oh man. Now, if I can just remember, it's right here. The name that goes, been so long. 好久不见。您的名字忘记了. Sorry about that. So, yeah, see what I mean? That's pretty cool, the anamorphic lens. Oh, I'm trying to think. Gosh, you know, it's right here. What? Ugh. Anyway, so I was just getting ready to say a little while ago that I have to, I should sign off because I've been rambling too long, but I used to be into photos too, a lot, gal, and I kind of, you know, went through the whole thing, and I was using, you know, Lightroom and everything, and I don't like the Adobe subscription, you know, model, so I started using Affinity Photo, and then I got Affinity Designer. Those are incredible. I can't believe it. Incredible value software. Affinity Photo basically does everything that Lightroom and Photoshop does together for like $70, you know, for a perpetual license. It's nuts. So, I have the ability to do those things. Affinity. Seriously, check it out. Affinity Photo. And just, if you don't believe me, what you should do, and that's, I don't mean if you don't believe me, I'm just saying, check out YouTube. Affinity Photo. There's a couple, Ezra and Allie, and they have a channel and a business called Affinity Revolution. And what they do is they do online tutorials. And they have some paid tutorials, if you want to really get in deep on it. But they do Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer. And they know their stuff. And it's amazing because anything that I've ever wanted to do, shooting raw and working with raw files, Affinity does it. And it's $69, man. And it's perpetual license. I bought Affinity Photo in 2016, the first version that I bought. And they said, well, when we go, to the next higher tier, then we're going to charge, for the next higher tier. They never have. In 4 years, they've just done incremental updates. And it seems like almost every other time I use it, they got an update. So that's the thing, I kind of got out of photography because I wanted to get back into music. You can ask me anything, and I'll just tell you right now. You can ask me anything, but if I don't want to answer it, I won't. So, oh, that I don't know. I am absolutely not familiar with Adobe Elements. I really am not. So I'm sorry, I can't. But I will tell you, I don't know what Adobe Elements does, but Affinity Designer works with vector and raster graphics. Both of them. There's an icon. You click on it, and then you're working in vector, and then you click on the other icon, and you're working in raster. It's just incredible. It's amazing. So that's really cool. Macro, scenery, and architecture. Those things are cool. And I used to like Lightroom, how it would straighten the perspective. You got some buildings that look keystone or something like that, and so. Yeah, but these days, right? My Xiaomi 9T Pro that I got almost exactly a year ago has a 48 megapixel sensor in it. My Nikon D7000 is a 16.5 megapixel. It's not the megapixels. It's how they. Well, it's the whole thing. It's the whole system. But these days, mobile phones, the photos can rival a DSLR. Of course, it all depends, on if you know what you're doing. But one thing I don't like about the Xiaomi is it doesn't shoot RAW. But my S7 did. My Galaxy S7 shot RAW. I shot RAW all the time. And what I noticed was one day I looked at my Nikon and all the batteries were dead. I hadn't used it in a year, I went to Florida, in 2018. I didn't take it. I went to Bali, on vacation with my family in 2017. I didn't take my Nikon camera. I just took my mobile phone. So, yeah. And I'll tell you something really bad. I have a Sigma lens. It's great. It's a Sigma lens that I bought in 2007. I bought it, a long time ago. And it has optical stabilization on it. And a couple of weeks ago, I went to take it off the D7000 body, and it's fused. It won't come off. That's, the Taiwan rust for you. So, won't come off. So there you go. If you're asking me, Rob, this is a Xiaomi 9T Pro. It has 256 gigabytes of storage. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM. It has a Snapdragon 255, I think. Anyway, last year it was, the nuts. But Xiaomi has come out with a phone that makes this look like a Timex Sinclair. Yeah, it is. And I don't like, I'm going to tell you, and I've had this discussion before, I do not like these subscription models where there is no way to exit the program and retain a copy of it. Because I've been buying since Phoenix was born in 2012. In that year, I bought my first version of the standalone Lightroom, and I think it was I think it was $130. Then the next version came out. The upgrade was $80. Then the next version came out, and the upgrade was $80. Now here's what they did. Not this screen, but that screen is a touch screen. It's a 27-inch AIO computer. That's the computer that's feeding this screen through HDMI. This screen is off. But this is a touch screen. And I was using Lightroom 6, I think it was. And I could actually, with a filter or with any kind of effect that I want, I could use my finger. Like somebody's face, I could just go like this and paint with my finger. It was the most amazing thing. I did some amazing touch-ups, and then they broke it in the next version. And in all the Adobe forums, they were saying, well, we didn't know which way that we should go. If we should make touch a navigation function, or if we should make touch an editing function. And we go, put it back the way it was. You don't have to think about it, just put it back the way it was. And they said no. So I said, okay, time to update? No. And the next update came out, and I looked at what it did, and it didn't do anything that I wanted. And you know, once I got Affinity Photo, I stopped using Lightroom. And you know, I tried Capture One. Capture One it's an incredible program. And Capture One, you can do subscription, or you can just buy it outright. But Capture One is another one of these ultra complex, non-intuitive, high learning curve programs that uses the library thing. I installed the demo version of Capture One, and I'm not lying to you. It took several days for it to import my Lightroom catalog. My Lightroom catalog is about 70,000 photos. I used Affinity Photo after that, and it was like, and it's so intuitive, and it's nuts, and I can use my finger on the screen. The other thing, right, is using Reaper on the machine. When you're using a DAW, yeah, I know. When you're using a DAW and on my Surface Pro, I have a Surface Pen. Oh man, I'm Picasso, okay, or Michelangelo with my Surface Pen. So, yeah, me too. I'm with you, bro. Exactly. Because I was talking about the price. All right, let me get back to that. I was talking about the price, and I did the math. Because over the long run, okay, when you count the initial payment and then the smaller payments for the incremental upgrades, over a period of time, if you get over 3 years, then you're paying more money for the subscription. Now here's the thing. If you, let's just say that you're a wedding photographer, and you're on the subscription program for 20 years, and then you retire, and you don't want to pay that anymore. You don't have that business, but you'd like to have that program, to use for your personal photos. You can't, because as soon as you stop using it, it's cut off. And this is really weird. I had one user, right, who actually argued with me. He said, well, it doesn't stop working completely. You can still use it as a photo. I'm not kidding. As a photo browser, you can still print with it, and you can order books. Yeah. Well, that's not what I want it for, so. Anyway, so I got to go back and look at this again. So, yeah, exactly. The old version of Photoshop, yeah, before it went CC. See, the president of Adobe comes on and says, "Oh yeah, we've got the photography plan. It's only $9.95 a month or something." Right. Except when you want to stop it. and then you pay for the software 10 times over and you stop it, and you're not left with a working copy. So, yeah, exactly. Right. So, Gal, Affinity. Trust MJ on this. This is MJ's tip. Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer, and they also have Affinity Publisher. Okay, it's serif.com. Just do a search on Affinity Photo and you'll find them. It's amazing. But look at the YouTube videos, the stuff you can do. I'm doing three-dimensional stuff and all kinds of crazy things that I never thought that I would do. I'm not a designer. You know what I'm doing with my daughter? I am creating cartoon characters in Affinity Designer. Like she likes this Sumiko Garashi from Japan, and I made some of those characters like that, on my own. So, yeah. How do you say that? Luna? Hey, how you doing? Hoi? Okay. Yeah, check it out. But with Affinity, the other thing I like about it is it's quick, Yeah, but see, Gal, you sound more like me than a designer, because like the Phoenix Media Forge, at the beginning of the program, the Phoenix Media Forge logo, I did that on Affinity Designer. It took me an hour or two, a couple hours. That's what I like about it, is quick. If you're doing content for a website, you can't. It's not something that you've got a month to do, So, oh, I see. You want to do it you want to do it today. You want to get it done. Ah, computer business before 9/11. Okay. I think you did, actually, yes. But go ahead, because you want it on the stream. Yes. So, the one thing about the Affinity products is that they're very quick. And you can get the product out quick. So, okay. All right. I understand. Okay. I've been rambling far too long. But it's been a pleasure. I should get some sleep. It's after 1 a.m. So I'd like to thank everyone on Facebook and on Periscope, Twitter, and YouTube. It's been a nice stream up here. It's been great. Unfortunately, I can't really play you anything that I'm doing. In order to get the audio going on the stream, I'd have to stream from the PC, and it's a lot of overhead to stream from the PC that's running, the digital audio workstation audio. So I have to figure it out. Maybe I'll use my other computer, but at any rate, so yeah, thank you. For me, this is cool. And I would see, the other thing that I could do, or I can do, is I can play audio files here on, if I just swipe like this, any audio file that's here, I can play. And I had, for example, there is something I can play for you. It's a couple minutes long, and you'll be listening to it, watching, and me just go. But I entered a mixing contest a couple of weeks ago, and it's pretty interesting because it's an artist called Daywave, and he came out in 2015. He's some kid in California that records in his bedroom, basically. And I was a recording engineer in Boston. I've done 500 sessions on 24 tracks, and I know a new wave tune when I hear it. And this is new wave, man. He's doing new wave in the 21st century. There's nothing wrong with that, because I'm doing classic rock in the 21st century. I'm all for, do whatever you can do and make money. It's cool. But he put this out there. It was a mixing contest, and you can do anything that you want with the tracks. Okay, so I did something that nobody else would do because I mixed it on the console back here with automation on Reaper with no plugins and no Reaper automation or anything. But I did something that I always wanted to do. Because listening to these rinky-dink little, these new wave tracks, I always wanted to put some heavy guitar on it, and like make it like a powerhouse 80s kind of tune, right? So, the other thing that I did was I have a vintage DR880 drum machine here. I programmed a new set of drums for this tune. I used this guy's bass. I used his really bad lead vocals. Not that he can't sing, it was recorded bad. And I used his bass, his background vocals, his lead vocal, and I used 2 tracks of his clean guitar and nothing else. He had a keyboard part that was, I didn't like it. I'm going to say it that way. So here's what I did. I put 7 tracks of drums. I put 2 tracks of rhythm guitars. I did 4 tracks of lead solo parts. And I put 4 tracks of keyboards, 2 stereo keyboards on it. I would love to play that for you right now. And you got to put your earbuds in because it's in stereo. And Prism Live Studio will broadcast that thing to you in 24-bit, 48 kilohertz audio. I think. It might be 1644.1, but at any rate, if you have your earbuds in, I would love to play that for you because it's relevant because I did it right here in this desk, on this desk right here. And the funny thing is, I could bring the automation system up and you could watch it mix the song while you're listening to it. That'd be hilarious. That would be another stream. All right, let me do this. I'm going to play this. Is that okay? Guys, got your earbuds in? I promise you, I'll sign off right after that, okay? Because I know I'm probably boring you to death. This song is called Potions. The song is not bad, but okay, good. The song is not bad. I edited it for content. It had too many stops. See, the problem is when you're rocking in a song, right? You're rocking in a song, and you don't want to stop unless there's a good reason. And there were too many stops, too many things broken up, So my 1964 Epiphone is not here; it's downstairs. I used that on the rhythm guitars, but the solos I used this guitar. This is a copy of Brian May's guitar from Queen, and that's the guitar, the Red Special, that I used to do the solos, and so it has that kind of a Queen tone. Thank you, Jan, asking me to stay. Thank you, that's so sweet. It has that kind of a Queen tone. Jan, you haven't heard this. This is a couple weeks ago. I think this is before you started joining us here. So okay, I know I've been blabbing a little bit to give everybody a chance to put their earbuds in. So you got Bluetooth speaker, Bluetooth earphones, wired earphones, whatever. I'm going to mute my microphone because that way it doesn't interfere with the audio being played back from the studio. So I got to press some buttons. Let me do here. I'm going to mute my audio. I'm going to play this tune called Potions. And you're not going to hear me. I'm just going to be, so there. That's how it is. Okay, here we go. Let me mute this. All right, bye-bye. It's been 40 years since I had to pantomime to a music video, but yes, you know something, Captain, thank you. It has a richness to it. That's what's missing in this stuff. Thank you. Thank you. The funny thing is, right, those solos, I played those. That's me playing all those, except the clean guitar parts and the verses. That's on the track. But the solo stuff was me. And I was thinking like, I had to remember, so, I had to remember it for the music video we just did. It was absolutely hilarious. So, yeah, this is the Brian May guitar. And I used a bunch of combinations on it. I actually used a combination, one of the combinations was these two pickups that Brian May used in Bohemian Rhapsody in the solo, and I used these two that he used on Ogre Battle. So I'm going to put this back on the wall because I'll probably drop it. Oh, anyway, all right. I got to be careful because I got that tube microphone down here on the floor, so... Well, the thing is, right, if you have talent and you showcase it on here, it's okay as long as you don't expect anything to happen. So, thank you. Now, since you asked about it earlier, Gal, I also have, and as long as you have your earplugs in, Robert doesn't mind, I have... Actually, you know what? No. I'll do that next time. I'll do that next time. Rob, take care. Thank you. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. When I'm finished with Robert's, see, the thing is, right, is like what I love is when David Bowie said, in the movie The Prestige, when he played Nikola Tesla, he said exact science is not exact. And sometimes, when a client gives you a song to master and you're trying to bring out the best elements of the song, without changing it too much, you're just trying to balance things, then they've got an album that they want to do. And there's a dramatic difference between the engineering and you didn't do it. And sometimes you have to go back and remaster things. So we've gone back and done a couple of iterations. So you mean on which was you mean on YouTube? Yeah, there's a tremendous amount of talent on YouTube. There's guys that make me look like a 2-year-old playing guitar. So I know how to get sounds, but I'm not one of those, I'm not like a flashy guitar player, so. I'm using Reaper. This is Reaper, and the X32, Captain, with Reaper, listen, I'm not using a master bus. I use that mix, okay? No master bus, no automation envelopes. Try to say that after you've been drinking. No automation envelopes, no master bus, not a single plug-in. Everything was done in the X32 environment. Every single thing. And we now have moving fader automation for the X32. So you can go to x32ram.com. Find the automation system is amazing. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there is. But there's a lot of people that they waste a lot of time on Periscope and they don't go anywhere. See, I used to give lectures on the music business years ago. Well, it isn't interesting for people who use DAWs because it's like it's everything wrong, right? But no, it's everything right. Look over here. That's an analog console. It's connected to that. I come from the old 24-track days when that when that would just be a tape machine. Sorry, I got something stuck in my throat. So Reaper, to me, is a multi-track recorder reproducer. One that I can edit with a lot easier than using a razor blade, but that's all it is. And so when you bring it back down to the console, then you get that kind of sound, that kind of result. So, yeah, well, thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate it. We're going to have to chat again. Feel free to contact me offline. And I want to, before you go, I just wanted to do this because I want everybody to know that I'm going to take this off. We have an email for the show here, late night at taiwanlive.tv, and you can contact me here anytime, late night at taiwanlive.tv. Got any suggestions? Even if you want to complain, doesn't matter. I like to hear from our viewers, whatever's going on, and so there you go. I'll put it out there, and yeah, we're gonna have to talk again because it's been too long. Thanks so much. And with that, I think I'm gonna call it a night. So there you go. And this is the infamous, I'm going to say not famous, Phoenix Media Forge studio. But if you go to phoenixmediaforge.com, just take the title of the stream and just get rid of the spaces. It's phoenixmediaforge.com. You know what it is? It's my cinnamon rum. There's cinnamon in the bottom. I've been drinking it, and there's nothing but cinnamon powder at the bottom. So phoenixmediaforge.com, and you'll find some articles that I wrote because I'm actually, Captain, I'm not using USB, I'm using Dante. So I have a Dante audio network that I'm running off of the console to the computer with Reaper, and I have delay compensated for it, and the latency is unbelievable, okay? So it's crazy. Jan, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Fist bump to you. And you guys take care. Thank you so much. It's been great. I was gonna do a life for Rizza. I was gonna come on for just a short time, but you guys kept me on, and it's always so nice to engage with everybody. I really appreciate it. So, yeah. Well, Captain, you saw my email. Contact me, okay? And go to my website, phoenixmediaforge.com. Contact me there, man. We'll open a dialogue, and yeah, I'll tell you whatever I can help you with or whatever. So it'll be cool, man. Yeah, I'm always up for tech talk, engineering talk. Working with other musicians, other engineers, man. I love it, and because I come from the dinosaur age. You know what I'm saying? Which in some respects is cool, but there's so much cool stuff now too that I'm not into, that I don't know about. So it's always an interchange. You can learn something from anybody, and the minute that you think you can't, then it's over. And on that, I'm going to say goodnight. 再见，晚安，谢谢，感谢你们. Thank you so much. And this used to be my signature years ago. Remember this, the finger? Okay, so I use my thumb on the other thing. So good night. We'll see you. Wanan. Bye bye. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Great broadcast. Thank you guys so much, man.